Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to KritzKast. We've got more qualifying action coming up for you to find out eventually which two teams are going to end up in the Premiership division and which two teams are going to have to decide between playing Div 1 or folding. I'm Dave, joined by another Dave, DuMmTm, and I've got Dr. Underscore behind the camera. I guess we could quickly run down some predictions then. DuMmTm, which side are you going to say is going to take this first map of Proot?
I'm gonna follow your lead here and say that the Twice roster looks a bit more experienced, so I'm gonna go with them for now.
Okay, I'm probably going to back Twice as well, 3-1, but here we go. It is the first round of the Premiership Qualifiers for the 2024 winter season. It is Twice starting off in the blue, facing off against Feila in the red, and it's going to be this first map of Proot as we go into this first mid-fight.
Yeah, here we go, classic Kof mid-fight scenario. Want to really get to just feel out the snipers first of all. Big body shot gets Scrim is weak, gives a bit of an edge here on the red side for the time being, but Duke can play that game. Picklass is coming in, trying to anyway, exit the night pretty early, opens up some opportunities, and look at that blue damage. Immediately try to trickle into point, get a decent bit, get the heavy down as well, but before a steep asking price, DuMmTm taken down on blue. Spy comes in with good timing that just distracts everyone, and while no shots by the pistol coming in from Raiden, the sniper gets another blue resources running. Thing entry to 9 points per second there, but not for too long. Will go down. Drone dies for the cap in the end. Might have to repush here a little bit, but for the time being, points right to start with.
Yeah, really intelligent bomb from Orange. Just going down the flank, but seeing that Sammy was over the point extended. But this time Sammy is back in the action, taking the Uber in aggressively. It's traded out from Feila, but they don't have either their heavy or their demo in this Uber to use it on. So, I mean, they managed to block the point. It's actually a level 1 gun being put up in a cheeky spot at the moment, just denying the point a little bit more, but Sammy suddenly has some position on the point himself.
Yeah, that should be enough to get the point going here with the spam they're getting. It just makes it difficult to recontest. Scrimmage aggressive sideline over the point with this 2. Immediately gets rewarded for that one too, but they're bleeding so many numbers just on the cap itself, and as it so often goes, that just immediately trades back around. Red team point position one more time, only losing one guy to do this one. Maybe 2, there's a sideline here for Scrimmage, but fully above DuMmTm will not go down quite yet. But they're staying in point control, going well here so far, not really notably behind on the overcharge. Both teams getting their full 100 here as we speak. Twice maybe a second earlier, and they're trying to make the most of this. They're at 90 and they're trying to get in here while they can, but look at that. That medic gets out for free. There's no spy behind them or anything to block off the exit. In fact, if anything, it's the opposite. Raylan waits out the Uber on the other side, immediately gets 2, and Harry just can't run past the spy. What are you gonna do? Run into that knife? Not happening. Has to slow down the exit, bombed as that happens. Beautiful timing on the side of Feila.
Yeah, really good, aggressive kind of re-push from Feila. They had to wait it out. They had to get that, wait a few seconds to get that Uber. I think Twice were caught a little bit flat-footed. Once they're not committing deep for that Uber, once they're not chasing the medic out, forcing them out of back towards their own spawn, I think they really have to get back onto their own side. They got caught on the point, and it was a really, really nice aggressive collapse from Feila.
Yeah, okay, back to point. Blue team trying to just rush in with the response here for a second. Do a decent drop of that for now, but as the second ago as well was the case, gotta be careful not to lose too many. Not much dying, a lot of people weak, they'll have to fall back there to point once more, and this is what Feila wants to strike, get back on point, get some damage across to clean up these kills. Look at that, mercilessly running over the cap to get what they want here. Didn't even get that many kills. Blue team managed to run away for the time being, but the time is come for the bomb to come through here. They were so happy to hold on point with what they had, but they did not cover the flank. Brilliant stuff by the blue soldier. Medic down here just as Feila was settling into the last minute.
Yeah, a huge little bomb from Kazuki, bringing the fireworks as always, and I mean, that has been the one thing that's really been working so far for Twice. They've been struggling to get their combo going, but Kazuki has been making these individual plays, getting these picks here and there, brings them back into an uber advantage situation. They're going for this kind of forward hold on the point, but now they're actually rotating over to the flank. The opposing flank of Orange is already there, but as you can see, Feila just rotating around the other side and going to try and start to edge cap from the corner.
Yeah, here's that same cap tab, very slowly. Big bomb coming in the meantime there by Orange. Gets the DuMmTm down nice and early before the fight really starts. In the meantime, Kazuki tries the same. Bomb comes through, the Ubercharge chasing deep. They're trying to cut off the exit there, but the bomb just dies too early. Kazuki can't stand in the wake of the red team falling back too long, and the scout just can't catch up with them. Was also going down. Layla just completely fine after that Uber push attempt by the blue team here. Snipe goes Chocolate's favor too, and that's the red push. immediately call towards point with that as well. They want to get this point back as quickly as possible here, and this should be all resistance they really had left in store. Matter will fall. That's the point back in red. One more bomb comes through, trying their best to get in here, but I don't think it's much more than the dispenser going down. In fact, I guess the NG, I guess, but I don't think that's enough at this rate anymore. 40 seconds left. There's enough time for the blue team to get an Uber, but you really want to get rid of Layla's Uber first.
Yeah, and Smith is kind of caught out alone, aggressive when the rest of his team isn't with him there. Looking to go forward here, but now aggressive Uber. Joey's able to catch Matza, but Harry does a good job swimming out of there. But Orange is in as well. He gets one rocket down onto Harry, but there's a blob of players supporting that medic, and that keeps Twice in the game here as they have an Uber ready to go. They're going to pop it straight out. Ozoro looking to chase into that Feila combo. They're backing out of there. Axio is lurking, but it looks like Layla will survive for now.
Oh, how did the Red Heavy get in so late there? Still gets a chance at the end, but it wasn't quite enough to clean up much. One more attempt at Layla there at the tail end of their push as well, but even the Soldier Note of Spy could do enough damage. They're trying to double down. They really are thinking about a forward hold here, and it's a hesitant one on the flank side for what they have, but there's still a couple of people down. Makes this somewhat more difficult, and even then, even if the numbers were in their favor, they still have to worry about the Uber situation. Layla coming up on the 100 as well. They're not waiting around for that to happen first. They want to make the pressure happen early, get some damage across the gut, get some sets out of the corner, and by the time they're on point, they will have 100. Maybe not a Devil Man, but again, the blue team has to come their way, and by that point, this Uber should be here to just clean up a little bit, you'd hope. There's charge coming through. A couple of people died on blue, but Heavy and Pyro might just be all they need, and just flashing a spread fin on blue. Harry will go down. Good damage by Heavy and Pyro there. They have got a response to in a second here. The blue team still gets this back. You want to cap this, but you really also don't. You just have to let this sit there, and that's terrifying as you still have to block anyway.
I think it's the right play there, as we do see Feila just about close out that round. I think it's the right play there. By Twice, they wanted to go aggressive. They wanted to make the fight happen before Layla came up in that Uber. And they got a decent situation. They got essentially a trade on point, but didn't quite work out. They had enough players to make it happen, but didn't hit their shots, didn't have the right positioning. And there we go. Feila are going to take that first round, and a really good start for them.
Yeah, very fortunate they're capping it overtime. Didn't cost them any awkward spawn situations there at the tail end as well. Next round, however, immediately starting off with a bit of aggressive play in the flank. Get the Heavy down nice and early. Trade out what they can right away. And Harry might be not the one Twice wants to lose here at all. Just caught in the beginning of the mid-fight already. And any attempt to approach this from the flank just utterly denied by Feila eSports. Get the cap, get the Uber lead. It couldn't go any better.
I have to say, Litfam, the Polish Scout, probably the least experienced player on the server, but he is the one dominating at the moment. He's just running from rooftop to rooftop, putting aggression on the point when his team's looking to go forward, going back and cleaning up when he needs to, and now he's in this Uber again. Joan is launched up miles in the air. Not an ideal position for him to end up in. Actually, Kazuki's going to try and chase him down, but doesn't quite get that frag. But Harry will survive it. He actually spawned on crits this time, so they're going to come very, very close. Going to look for a bit of magic coming out from Sammy's sticky bombs.
Yeah, they thought they needed to mix things up a little bit on the Uber charge itself, but already got done and over with the Uber on the other side way before that even comes up. Now you just have to hope this works. The snipe comes through, it catches Joan. The long shot, however, over the point there does not catch Layla in the end. That's the big problem now. You're stuck here, crits the Uber, known quantity, and they will have any moment now as well, pretty much on the red side here. Will at least be a cap. I mean, just because it didn't kill the medic doesn't mean it didn't do nothing, but I don't know if it's going to be enough now. Really double down on forward hold again, once more.
Yeah, this is a super aggro forward hold. You can see Number is far forward ahead of the rest of his team. He's going to get isolated, I imagine, pretty shortly. Exued is looking for him. Smith is committing, but no, he's going to back up, get a health pack, live for now. But yeah, all this time happens. Feila are just chilling. They're waiting for their own Uber, and then they're going to look to get aggressive themselves.
It does stop them for a little while here, this bit of a forward hold. A couple of people go down in the meantime here as well. They just don't want to pop early to this, and I can't really blame them either, but they're struggling taking space. You have to pop eventually, but they find themselves right below the enemy team there as they use the Uber, can just jump up, catch them instantly. Somehow, no one's able to escape it in time. Kazuki still does some damage in the back with the Engineer and the Spy coming in there and actually cleaning up the combo really nicely. Actually, with the free kick, cleans up everything the Soldier and the Engineer presented them at the end of the fight. And that's actually maybe just good enough, right? Harry gets the better spawn here, barely. We'll have slight Uber ad as well. Spawns will be a bit tough, but the point stays blue. No one gets to get some cap time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone died on the server. It was almost a double wipe coming up there, and as you say, both the medics did go down. Slight Uber advantage for Harry. He gets to go back on the minigun, so that crit's mostly working out overall. Just one successful crits, and you know, even without that second one being able to come out, he did manage to make the collapse work. And again, Feila, they did manage to cap it out there cheekily. Actually, I didn't even see who stood on it, but they've got the clock ticking back in their favour, and it's up to Sammy's boys of Twice to do something now.
Yeah, they're already busy at work with the cap time, and with pick losses down, it looks like Feila is not contesting this too aggressively. In fact, the damage is really good across the board, and also across the flank it looks like Kazuki might not get away with this, but did good damage there to get some people down early. 3 down on a red, do happily taking an exchange when they just have better staying power afterwards. So you'd think, but the medic just not playing around the sideline at all. Will get sniped as Lieber and Chocolate just patiently waiting for that to happen. And suddenly the better position is just completely gone for Twice in just a split second. Immediately back on the cap as well, get it before the Met even spawns. And they have, this looked like a pretty good round for Twice, and they're still ahead a little bit, by not by as much as I thought they did for a second there. It's just 20 seconds now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for Harry. You can see that he's having to be so active moving around the same speed that his demo man is, but occasionally it just means you get caught in that sight lane, as we saw. Aggression again coming in from Twice now, looking to get Flood onto the point here. He actually Red is the furthest forward player, but they don't get too much damage out. Eventually the force does come out, but Feila going to be able to take it in. Joe going into the Joe zone. It's actually a really nice pipe from Sammy, just launched him away from Harry, who went down to, I think, single-digit health, went very, very close to dying, but really, really nice pipe from Sammy to defend his medic.
Will all just about work off of Feila still, though. The point stays red all the way through here. Advantage obviously still on the side of Harry, staying alive on all of this, so at least the counterpult for Twice shouldn't wait much longer just now. But in the end, still Feila brought this all the way back now. If that's all it takes, right? They can just get the last bit going here. There's the snipes already happening as well. Scrimmage takes Chocolate down in return here. Will eventually put numbers in their favor, but they're certainly not playing off the advantage needs as much as I would have thought they might to bring this back quicker. They're trying to play this smart, they're trying to be a little bit reserved now. Just get this with numbers advantage more than Ubers, and have the Ubers for when Feila reacts, as we see right now. They've felt themselves threatened in the corner there a little bit, pop in to take a fight, see what position they can force out of this one, but I don't see anyone on Twice make any like bad rush decisions too much. Do catch Matza there in the end, but it looks like they still have a good foothold on point.
Yeah, really good Uber trade there from Twice, but Harry is having to wait for a sandwich on top of the point. Very, very vulnerable for a second. That's a beautiful shot from Chocolate coming out onto the flying Kazuki. Just perfectly headshots him out of the air, destroys him, and Joe just about getting up on the spawn. Feila are looking to get aggressive, but they don't have too much time to work with, and it's going to be dry because neither Uber's in play.
Alright, things have changed certainly this round, but will it be enough for Twice to get control back of the game a little bit? There's the recap attempt coming through with the damage they have, and the stabs and snipes coming through on top of that. Everything's looking up for Feila in the last few seconds. Harry needs to lift this, no one else is. At least the Uber charge needs to be there for the last bit of the fight they have ahead of themselves. Spy cannot get the stab going. It's so disheartening. You really need the surprise factor there in the last rush onto point. Spy's unable to do just that for the team just now. So the snipers just missing each other a little bit here as we get to point. Layla uses early just to deny whatever they can here to get to the point. Valen with one more attempt to get to point. Face stabs the sniper down, but isn't enough. The numbers on point are dwindling already as the Ubers have ended. The blue team just puts themselves convincingly on the cap with the bit of a better Uber they had in the end. And it's gonna be doing enough. Big change of a round here. I think the first round, Valen had way too much freedom. They adjusted for that. And Scrim has picked up the pace big time as well. Not being in the lower end of the scoreboard anymore helps on sniper class quite a bit as well for now. And it's all looking up in the world for Twice. Maybe there is still a chance.
Yeah, back to 1-1, and it's anyone's game at the moment. Both teams looking strong, but have there's moments where they can crumble themselves. This time, Twice looking for a better mid-fight than they've had so far. They've lost both of those mid-fights quite convincingly. Axio's going in, down onto Layla, does take her out. before any Ubers are up. There's a few casualties though for Twice, so they're probably just going to look to blob around Harry. He's up to 80% Uber, but the aggression is coming in. Joe's going onto the roof point, stick is down, and absolutely deletes everyone. A pipe takes out Harry. And Ozero as well, I believe. That's beautiful stuff from Joe, just seeing the frags that were there, seeing the number advantage he had, and really taking it on him to go aggressive when he has that opportunity.
Yeah, the Y-axis remains the TF2 player's biggest enemy, looking up. Surprisingly difficult when you're having everything else in mind, it seems. Certainly for the medic and the scout there, it will cost them their lives, and it will cost them the mid-fight too. Not as drastic a loss, however. First of all, because they just got 2 kills, but also this situation isn't against them at all, actually. Slight advantage, if anything, for the blue side here. Feila needs to watch out what they're doing on the defense just now, but trying their hardest, a heavy forward. Will not last very long, however, and that might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, Scrimmers is actually going to go down as well, just thinking Joe's already got 4 kills on this round. It is barely just started, but already the clock is going against Twice. They're going to be feeling the pressure. Cap is just about going to come in. Orange looking for a bomb, but does see a little bit of damage down, but gets himself back in the fight. And already, Feila just flooding back in, instant cap. Ubo is actually forced out to try and block it from Twice, but they're a bit too late, and the trade is going to be much better for Feila. Harry caught in a slightly awkward position, going to have to run for a health back. Layla caught a little bit on the point, but both of those medics will survive, and Feila are going to end up with the point and with the control of the round.
Yeah, timer continuing to dig down. It's a minute ahead here. Wow, this has been ticking by a little too fast. If anything, not the likes of Twice at least catch a spy here, it looks like. But no, they see the spy behind. Everyone turns around, and Orange just comes in the meantime, spams in there, gets the medic out of nowhere while they're thinking themselves saves all the way back in the little transition area. And they will just not have a chance to sit there at all. At least they get the heavy caught overextending, but is that enough right now? 1 heavy kill? I mean, there's a couple people waiting for respawn still as well on Feila. But at this rate, they just have to worry about the Uber situation once again being hugely against them.
Yeah, Axio's going to find a stab on to Chocolate, so there's not going to be a sniper. Nambo and Trutian not in the fight either, so if the Uber is forced out, but so far I think just the 1 frag onto Matsu is going to be all that Feila are going to get for that, and Twice would be looking to get aggressive. Exit caught a little bit out of position, but actually nice little shot coming out from Scrimmers, taking out Litfarm, and now surely Twice can get aggressive going on the point, but they're really not committing too much here.
Yeah, it's not too much action out of this one scenario here just quite yet. Maybe even the side of Feila, that's the good news overall here, even with the DuMmTm not having respawned yet. 1 stab's all it needs for them to get back on the cap here and immediately hit everything they have to there. 2 people fight back, get them right away. Raylan with another 2k on top of that, just to make anyone that wanted to block point regret the decisions instantly. And suddenly, last minute for Feila, with he was just coming up here. Joan going down surprisingly early, however, does still give Twice a bit of a fighting chance in a fight where they should dominate on area damage a lot now.
Yeah, Raylan has been having a good round for sure. I think he got 5 kills before going down, but now aggressive Uber coming out once more. Have to flash a lot, but they're getting quite deep with here. Smith shot is taken out. They've got most of the frags they would have wanted. Harry is caught a little bit ahead of the rest of the team. They might get encircled here, but no, they've been able to somehow manage their way back onto the point and cap it out. Keep themselves alive. They don't have all their spawners back in the action, so a really nice shot onto Orange is going to completely deny his aggression going forward, but he's still going to live. He's still going to take out Sammy, and he's still on the chase for Harry. Will he get it? He jumps round the corner. Nice serve from Harry. He's able to keep himself alive, and XE Red comes in with the shotgun.
It's good to stay alive. Oh, never mind. I was about to say they're still a little bit behind on the Uber at this level of time left. Still a problem, but that problem just became a whole lot larger, and now it's just a desperate attempt to even get anything going on the point itself. Get the heavy down early, but is that going to change much at this point? Layla is at 90%. Bleeding numbers on point, trading left and right. This might just be enough for the recap here, but they can sit back, get the supercharge going, and just execute them once and for all. Get 1 more kill right away, and look at the cap time. No one's here to stop it, and Feila should be wrapping this up any moment now. Big damage on point just to stop them from having any chance to get back in there and get themselves up to 1 map point for Feila eSports.
Yeah, any question of Feila starting to crumble has been soundly put in the dirt. That was a decisive round for them, and Litvam is just running the show at the moment. There was a double revenge on him, but it was kind of telling because he was briefly at 5 dominations on the server. That's over half of the enemy team were in his pocket, and at the moment he's running the show.
Certainly, let's see how it goes once again. Attempt from play from flank side on the side of Twice, but the second they see Joan just focus fire on that, they can't get nuked down by him again sitting in that corner. Will not allow it to happen. Heavy DuMmTm will go down nice and early, and there's the chase coming through Spine Soldier. Want the damage, and they're getting it right away. Pyro can't stop the bomb. Feila will go down, and compared to the previous mid fight going in from the flank side, this one is just flawless in comparison.
Yeah, definitely the best mid that Twice have had. I mean, Harry is coming up on the Kritzkrieg once more. I like to see this as an option. I mean, they put it out in the second round, and that was the round they win, so I think it makes sense to bring it out, and they're going to have a chunky Uber advantage or crits advantage to make it work as well. Nice shot from Scrimus out onto Number is just going to slow, and actually Feila are crumbling before this crits is even up.
Yeah, well, that makes this fight go a lot easier here. They recap at the price of half the team going down. Easiest recap Twice could reasonably ask for in this situation. Might even get the sniper kill there. Kosuki is not willing to chase all the way into respawners there in the end. That's already the right idea as well. After all, they have a KritzKrieg, and we know how aggressive they like to play when given the chance. Has worked a couple times before this game. We'll see if they're going for that again, or if they change their pace here just a bit to bring this game back. It looks like they might actually just let Feila get us spawned a little easier this time around and just crits from the back here the second they can see them anywhere. Side has been gotten, but so is the Uber already in play for the side of Feila eSports. Pop in on the side of any DuMmTm in front of them just to deny that damage. Just KritzKrieg did basically nothing. And the Red Uber just should get them enough space here to make this a really tough stand point now.
I do like how Feila, they've just been completely unfussed whenever that KritzKrieg has been up for Twice. They've just played passively, just kept themselves out of the sightlines, made sure they couldn't be aggressively crits on, and just built up the Uber themselves. Has been happy to wait around because they know that once you get that Uber up against crits, you're in an advantageous position. They have lost Joe for this fight, and that's going to allow Kazuki to jump in. Stab from Axio coming out onto Layla. There's a few frags either way, but looks like Twice are getting the better of it.
Yeah, will finally look nice for Twice for just a little bit longer now as well, and that's still with the KritzKrieg in mind being a factor just now. However, this time around, Layla's nowhere close to having Uber, so catching up once you're KritzKrieg Uber and you on the Uber is just really annoying because it just takes so much longer to get anything, and the threat of them just going in on you while you're sitting there waiting, very much real. Feila needs to pick up the pace a little bit to make up for that, and this time around they're holding aggressively on the flank, just threatening the fact that they could snipe in any stickies they want from anywhere, and looks like they're falling back to make that happen, get the scout off the cap at least. There's a pipe onto Joan too. Certainly better than some KritzKrieg we've seen so far, but they're still just barely even going even on numbers, not even that actually. Trading way too much to make that work. And like you said, Feila just does not care about the KritzKrieg being there. Sure, a couple of people might die, but they have good focus fire to stop them from doing anything funny in the end.
Yeah, really good game management from Feila. This time, seeing that they couldn't wait around that full kind of minute for crits, it is going to be a disadvantaged position, so they just put themselves on the point and it just made the trades happen outside of the crits. They got 5 frags themselves. Twice are looking to get aggressive, but back onto the point how he's close to the crits, but it's going to be an Uber coming out from Layla, and Litvam's launched miles in the air, but it's just buffed in behind. Going to see Harry just hide in that dispenser, probably going to be enough to keep himself alive, and the crits is imminent.
Maybe this time around it can be big. The recap doesn't quite get denied there, and it looks like actually the KritzKrieg is just what gets denied. That moment down early, Heavy can't really get the biggest cyclone on anything here. Will be able to get Orange down, that's about it, and that guy is certainly willingly died, jumping the Heavy there to stop them from proceeding any further on point.
And again, they're looking to get aggressive. Some point cap coming in. Harry's actually kind of just on the point with Sammy alone, but they cap it out. They have an aggressive position on the point. Not too many players for Feila looking to get involved now, but it's just going to settle down. But Feila don't have too much time to work with.
Yeah, it's leaving them with very little room for error right now. And trying to fight over point, immediately eating pipes as the recapping does not help either. Eat a lot of damage there. Will end up just popping early to avoid danger as much as possible. Joan in with the bomb, but misses every single shot on the blue medic. Harry will live with the devil staring him down the entire way back to spawn. Just to now have the KritzKrieg ready for the post-Uber fight, and they just need 10 seconds. A little more than a recap and a couple kills. They might got this in the back. bit harder with 3 down, but I mean, hey, maybe this time Sammy will get the back crits quick.
We'll see if Feila decide to collapse or not. It looks like they're going to stay forward on the point. Kazuki doing good work on top, but now Sammy walks onto it, gets the crits out. 1 kill onto Number, another onto Chocolate, and there we go, 2 more. Joe and Layla both taken out. Long range Sammy crits coming in clutch, and that will surely seal out this round.
Yeah, that is the crit streak they needed the entire game to be winning rounds, and there it is at the very end. And if that's a sign of things to come, then maybe this pause was justified on the side of Feila.
Makes sense. It's 2-2. We've seen the crits kind of change how the game has been played. They've, you know, even with them negotiating decently, this still hasn't worked out. They've still ended up losing that round. So, just makes sense to come in, get some tactics doing, and get some strats going, and see how you're going to adjust.
Well, all it comes down to is happening now. The last round of the map. Put someone up in this best of 3 already here if they just get away with a win on this one. Very careful consideration, not playing from the flank side this time around on twice as well in the mid fight, and the mix-up working out surprisingly well. Losing the cap maybe, but they're just anyone overextending a little bit immediately gets punished of them playing really passive this time around on mid. And there you go, just waiting for the crits to come up later to this fight. Pop a little bit blind into that one, didn't really see where everyone was. Kazuki still tries to make up for it with a bomb, but even that's just not catching up anymore. A little optimistic on the crit squeak there, like the rest of the approach. Just big change of pace on the mid fight to try to catch them off guard. Worked surprisingly well.
Yeah, they're staying forward with the forward hold despite the big uber disadvantage. They're going to get caught here in the house as well. Absolutely no escape. They're having to rotate onto the enemy cliff. Harry's still alive, but he's got no team to support. He just runs into Number, the enemy heavy, and I think that was a little bit over-ambitious there by Twice.
One more aggressive bomb coming through, and with the spine at the same time, doesn't know what to run for later. Really good timing this time around, making up for the loss of the med kill on the mid fight there. Kazuki gets the kill this time around, badly needed as well, and just after the cap, mind you, too. So Layla with a really bad respawn time of 13 seconds, while Harry already alive and kicking again to get back with the rest of the team onto this point and cut the losses here a little bit. Don't let Feila get ahead on the clock at all here. Bombs coming through, they're trying the best they can to deny this if at all possible, but it's just bleeding numbers for little to no effect on the captain.
Oh my god, Joe needs to turn his headset up. There was a heavy right around the corner that he was completely unaware of. Smith is just going to gun him down as he absent-mindedly walks onto the point. There's a big throw from Joe there, and it's going to be another 10 seconds in the spawn queue before he can even walk out now, get buffed up, and Feila will look to repush.
Will be a tough one to bring back from this position. The crit streak is up again, and they've been getting better and better throughout the game, slowly but surely. Next one coming out might not have a DuMmTm though if they're not making a run for it right now. Layla with some good early kills into this next attempt onto point will get away with it here and get themselves the cap time back, but the crit streak comes in to retaliate and instantly catches them completely off guard. Just way too late to leave the point there. Really nice timing. They hoped they wouldn't pop in with no DuMmTm, but they just did it anyway. They went in quick, got the kills going they needed here. However, rushing this a little bit as well, caught a couple of people in the crossfire here, including Harry. So while the point stays blue, bad spawn for the blue team does not have much, if not for the fact that they're so far ahead on the timer now.
Yeah, I don't think either of the medics are really enjoying the gameplay right now. Both of them play 100 miles an hour, really, really fast, getting caught out here and there. I don't think it's anything they're doing individually wrong. It's just the way the game is going. There's so many threats coming in at their face at every opportunity and very little escape at times on this map as well. Seeing Feila actually cap the point out pretty much under Twice's nose, which they kind of needed with how this game has been going. Joen actually hits a nice little pipe onto Kazuki to save his own life. That's an important one. But Twice are going to walk back onto the cap, and there's only a minute left now for them on the timer.
Looking good for Twice now. KritzKast up once more. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could try to be brave and like preempt Uber just now, but they're cutting it really close on this one, so probably best to just sit back, relax, and maybe dodge the incoming Uber more so than force it out with the KritzKast maybe even. We'll see what they're ending up doing here. There's Uber coming through, and they're trying to just make a run for it just now. Joan is having a bit of a tough time getting in there. The spy comes in at the right time though, and that will be enough. Scout even comes in just at the last second to make sure they get that kill. They knew they had to get rid of that at some point. And capping in the meantime certainly helps a little bit as well, even though I don't think they will keep this one. And Kazuki behind them makes the exit really annoying. Still have to watch out for the soldier in the back. Layla not out of the woods just yet at all. Sniper the one that catches the strays in the end, though.
Yeah, he was completely unaware that Kazuki was still in behind. Kazuki's been a menace this round, and actually looked for a moment like also had an opportunity to maybe go down to Layla, but decides not to commit. Decides they don't need it. They are in the lead. They still have the cap in their favor. Going to go back, get the beam going. There's not too many players alive here for Twice, but they're going to stay in and look to recontest, give the point up for now, but Feila really didn't commit with that player advantage. So Harry still up on the crits, a little bit of a disadvantage, but we'll see if Feila want to really throw and push their hand or not.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they have. The super has to be big. It's coming out early. Harry right in front of them will get caught nice and early. Lots of people to catch there. But look at that. Someone just messed up a little bit.
Minor warning coming out for one of these teams. That is unfortunate. I mean, I'd have to guess with the time it was a Twice win.
Yeah, it was Twice.
You don't always have to make every crits work. It just creates so much space for you, the threat of it, and the fact you can play forward, the fact you can play aggressive. And I think the bigger thing than any was when it was dry, when the crits wasn't up, when the Uber wasn't up for Feila. Twice were the more aggressive team in those rounds that they won.
Yeah, however, a massive change of pace coming up as well, so we'll see how much any of what we just learned from this gameplay and CoF we saw will apply in the next two maps.
From Twice, maybe they'll bring it out if they're set like a really, really short time that they have to beat, but besides from that, we're going to be moving it over to payload gameplay.
Yeah, it's Vigil time now coming up, and upward should we go the distance. Feila in the hot seat now. Twice can reserve themselves a spot in winners for the Prem qualification process. Long journey still ahead of both teams if they want to make it back, I suppose, for both of them. This map could already decide it. Certainly interested to see how this goes here. Big fan of the map, of course. Has quick become a staple in the Highlander map rotation. I think fast become many people's preferred payload map even at this point. Nice to see, but still, can these rosters, as young as they are, get their game plan together on this map?
Yeah, it's going to be Feila starting off on the defense. We've seen some aggressive controls from them in the past, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing it here, sadly. I'd like to see it, particularly with being Feila with Namba in the team as well. He's someone who's used them as well in the past on his teams. But it looks like they just set up for default hold. Probably not going to be too much fighting over first. It's just whether you can get under a minute or not on that cap time for the blue, really.
Alright, off we go. No funny traps anywhere. Just right into the action. Well, as much as the first point allows anywhere on payload. Just feeling each other out a little bit, seeing what they're doing. Have the snipers start advancing upon each other a little bit just now and see if the spies can get into any funny positions here. Worth noting, Conch up on orange. Well, I mean, theoretically it's there anyway.
Well, yeah, he got about 5% and then died, so it's not going to be in the equation for quite a while on this map. I mean, there's been a lot of talk around the battalion's backup and the banners in general, particularly, for Soldier on this defense can be important. I'm already seeing Kazuki going in behind, going in for a bomb, but Pyro and Engineer are both ready for him. Goes miles in the air. He's going to just about live in that side tunnel and keep himself alive, and he's just bought a lot of space we've seen, but they still haven't been able to cap off the back of it.
Yeah, it delays it for a little bit here. Losing Sniper Devilman doesn't help necessarily either, but at least one of them should be up in a moment. Really just depends on how aggressive they want to take the beam early into this next point, while the cards nowhere close to being a good point of pressure just yet, and with Chocolate defending the sideline as well. Certainly not going too bad here. Traded out immediately though, and that just gives them so much more freedom. With Sammy going down, look at that, immediately trying to keep attention forward as much as possible. But punished as well. Spy catches the sniper. So much attention on the snipers here, but Feila's doing a good job keeping themselves safe, and all of this will keep the spawn life a little bit long. Like you said, the 1 minute mark is something you want to breach if possible. Get to 111. And then a bit of hiccup here before the actual play with Uber comes in. But that Uber still comes in anyway. Big juggernaut to Harry. Has struggled actually keeping the beam on anyone as well. Same for Osro. Does not get back through tunnel. Will get stuck out and left to die. While the rest of the team just realize this Uber is really rough from the get-go. Need to just cut the losses here early and see themselves out. Try to even rotate fast, but that gets preempted one more time beautifully by Feila.
Yeah, Twice are looking to go, on the dot as fast and play as fast as they can, but it's was kind of a misplay, I think. That going top, having your sniper, when they had those picks onto sniper and demo, they didn't make the most of them. They allowed Scrimmers to get sniped, and again, he's getting kind of diffed at the moment by Chocolate. Chocolate does go down. He's going to have a much longer spawn, so again, another opportunity to them maybe to move in from top, hopefully this time with more of their combo.
See what it's going to be off this one here. Spy caught out early. Raylan will go down. Obviously, there's just a chance to insta-kill anyone gone, but also a bit of knowledge loss here in how they're approaching this. Still, at least they knew where they're coming from, like you said, from up top, just getting in with the Uber. Quick exchange out of this one. Good damage by Joan, keeps him in check nice and early. No pick losses for the post Uber. Hurts a bit, still trying to rotate around, but every time they're trying to move anywhere, they just spot them instantly and not let them move an inch forward after they rotate around another side.
Yeah, I don't know where the cores are coming from, but they have absolute GPS on where that Twice combo is rotated, and Joe just nails Harry as he tries to escape from that tunnel area. They're looking to get the aggressive hold going once more, but this is about as nice a defense as you could have wanted so far for Feila.
Well, it feels like the calls for Twice are coming from Feila. They just go where Feila wants them to be and then just all die as they get to that position. Not what you'd want to see for Twice at all. They need a change of pace here, quick. DuMmTm damage certainly not helping them there. Joan just single-handedly prevents anyone from really doing any funny business all too much. Kazuki still tried from the sidelines here with a bit good damage. It didn't look all too easily dealt with, but still, it will not kill anyone in the end. Finally, the snipe comes through, but it's just a Hydra. They lose one, they lose the DuMmTm, and Orange is just taking the place of the DuMmTm up front, and with Harry going down to all that damage, mind you, they just can't keep going. At best, there's a sack with happening in that one. It's just not going through at all at the moment.
Yeah, I'm seeing some icicles here. It seems Raylan has been putting in some big work. Aggressive again. Kazuki just launching himself straight into the face of that Twice side and does get the foresight. They're going to chase into that tunnel area, but not get too many frags. Only Axio and Kazuki, that kind of aggressive flank combo going down, and now surely Twice, they're looking to move already before this Uber is up. This is brave, but is it foolish?
Well, it starts off with treading snipers, so at least the sideline is safe for everyone who wants to go there. If you ignore the fact that there's still a gun they need to take care of, but good focus fire will take care of that as well. Oh, never mind, there's Joan just completely nuking them down. No, he wasn't even really that far in. He was all the way back, just playing safe with the medic, hoping for the best. And the best is certainly gotten a lot worse just now as well. Late bomb by Kazuki makes up for a lot of what they just lost here, because this is not just a kill on medic, it's an endlessly late one as well. Layla down for 10 seconds as we speak, while the blue team already all alive again. Back from respawn onto point, and they realize this is as good as it's gonna get. With how much they struggled so far, just gotta be quick now they have a chance.
Number is still in, playing above, but Osaru with the beam is going to be enough to take him down. And as we say, eventually they're able to muscle through their Twice just off the amount of frags they had. They've actually got a decent number now to move towards this third point. There's still 3 important spawns on Litfam, Joe, and Namba. But for the first time really in this map, Twice are just a little bit slow.
Yeah, even if this point goes through first try just now with the respawns being slow, maybe that it still wouldn't be a good first time either into this next point, and it's not getting to that position. Even Scrimmers tries to snipe in really far at the tail end of the little push attempt there, but will just get caught for it right away. Feila not letting them take easy space around the corner as much as they would have liked to have it already, and just finally get some better pace off of this round as well. Catch the spider as well, but as much as Raylan didn't actually physically do anything there, it just wasted like 2 seconds for everyone involved. That adds up a little bit here. Even with a kill probably would have been better. There's the damage coming through, getting the Uber in as well. Joan really weak, barely getting out alive. Heavy not so lucky, even he might be in trouble. Barely stays alive. The dispenser working overtime to keep the DuMmTm alive. Now back on beam, and Layla can just pop around the corner, see what I can catch. Luckily it looks like most of Twice understood the assignment, just got out early. Big jump by Kazuki behind as well. That's actually doing so much damage.
Yeah, the collapse comes in. Just a nice little snipe from Scrimmers. Found a spot as well through all of that. Joe now getting picked off by Scrimmers. Scrimmers putting his team on his back. He's had enough. 6 minutes, 6:43 through those 3 points. Certainly a lot slower than they would have wanted, and Twice are going to have a decisive push, but at least they have an Uber advantage to work with.
Alright, maybe they can just convert this instantly and at least get not a bad time out of this one, right? At this point, that's really the mission objective is to just get this going on under 8 maybe. With this Uber ad already threatening position to last. Spike goes down early, there's a bombs coming through, but Paro watching that one vigilantly does not let Orange get away with anything so far this round. There's the entrance just from main. Card still takes a while to get around the corner, but the Uber comes in, denies some space, does good damage, most importantly as well. Everyone's forced bad already. They have all of the space on last to themselves.
Yeah, they've got, as you say, so much space. Match are just going forward. Everyone's trying to push out of spawn. There's a block. Joe just about finds a pipe, but actually eats one himself. Sammy is going to kill him. I think it's just old school, and Raylin alive to defend the point. Axie is going to try and walk up. His body blocked a little bit. There's a decloak, but there's not enough health for Raylin, and there we go. Axie is able to cap it out, and they salvage, as you say, just about under 8 minutes. So a decent comeback there for Choice.
Yeah, this makes the disaster start look a lot less bad all of a sudden, where in comparison, right, we see a lot of teams struggle on last and take just way too much time there. They pick this one up nice and quick, at least it's something good, regardless of how the rest of this one goes right now. That's good knowledge to have, that when they have an advantage, they know how to convert it here already on this map, so for future rounds, it's good good certainty to have going for yourself. You know what to fix now, and once that's going your way, maybe, just maybe, you can just win from that position pretty quick, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Feila, certainly with a strong defense here, just needs to have a competent offense now to keep pace with that. And I'm very curious to see how this new roster of Feila eSports will make that look like with the talent they have here. Certainly it should be interesting, but you never know, maybe they will struggle somewhere as well. Not looking like a funny hold. I would be highly surprised, like you said, the only ones in Premiership in the last little bit that have cringe hold held, I guess, whatever, have been really... I think once it was Ganja, and that didn't really work, I believe, and then it just Feila eSport ever since.
Yeah, and, you know, as you say, like a time that's fairly competitive. Either team is certainly very, very much still in its time. It's actually going to get 2 frags with KritzKast onto lip of a number. Just going to slow down the cart a little bit. Not going to make a huge for the logs either way, but what I'm interested to see is whether Kazuki can really build this battalion's backup up. He's already got about a quarter himself, but if he's able to hold it, especially for this second point, could prove very, very nice for his team.
Alright, let's see if anyone is up to any funny business. You were talking about the banners here, how people feel differently about them, and you can already see the change Kazuki and Battalion's backup instead. And once again, no time to get anything built as well. They were just nuking down the tunnel entrance, and the second there was any damage coming in from the rest of the team, Orange just on that bomb right away, making sure that they don't have to worry about the heavy awkwardly picking in on them here. And that should at least wrap up the first point nice and quick in no time at all. And even some late damage here as well. Also tries to get one more going. 2 can't quite get it, at least gets out alive. Let's see, this is now the important point. Feila has so much room for error if they get a good second point.
Let's see if Feila do what we now call it as the Feila push, where they just trade in from tunnel. It looks like that's how they're going to go. That's how they've approached it for about 4 or 5 seasons now. They're just going to take the trade straight in. Smith is going to just drop down, deny the Uber, but essentially Feila have got what they want at the moment. They just get the Ubers out of play, they move it on to dry, and with Chocolate winning that sniper versus sniper, that opens so many things up top.
Yeah, bomb comes super Orange, tries to get some damage on up top. We've seen him earlier struggle looking up, but this time around, instead of worrying up there, they're just falling back a little bit, played safe in the backlines. Joan kicked and taken down in the meantime as well, but there's still more to come. Paro, Scout, Sniper all just feeding in one by one there after the demo went down. They thought themselves safe maybe with the Joan kill, but there was just more damage coming in. Like you said, they take the exchange and then relentlessly try to get in there from whatever position and find themselves in post-Uber. Gun left behind is a bit of a problem, obviously. Sure, Angie lives still lets him build something, but they still have to put that thing up first.
Yeah, that point was just all down to Chocolate. He gets the opening frag onto Scrimmers, allowing in the space, and then hits a really nice one to Sammy, following it up onto Matsu as well. Once those 3 frags are out there, even with Joe going down, it was more than enough of an opening for Feila to go forward, and now the car is moving. They're making a good show of this and making a good pace, and will look to move on to third. They even have an Uber advantage here.
Yeah, can keep pace from here, and they're looking to do just that as well. No demo on Beam, just get the Paro in initially. Drone comes in late with this. Buy some space maybe, but not much damage. Harry is still far away from having, but a good post-Uber defense for the red team could bring this back. Look at the damage. Sammy leads this in. just annihilates them instantly with the battalions, making sure they're not taking much damage at all. And there you go, that helps the discussion about banner quality, I suppose, right away, right? Just gets in there and post-Uber just have insane damage resistance to help them out in a fight like this.
Yeah, really clutch as well, because the timing is super important, because you can see that the cart didn't quite get up that slope, and now it's going to be at the back of it. If it had got up that slope, if there'd been half a second later with that collapse, we'd have been talking a very, very different scenario where Feila could just flood onto the point, but it's a lot tougher now.
Okay, one more attempt comes through, but immediately losing the sniper, losing the soldier, losing the scout on the cart itself, but it's enough cart push actually to get the Uber out as well. That might be a good thing here, but still, how are they going to lift this later? And the heavy will have to have such a long way out of here as well, just to make sure they lift. Still try to bait cap time out of this as well. Don't want to just let them sit there, but looks like Twice very well understands how to play around the situation just fine. No one overextends too much, no one chases too deep. There's the respawns coming in. Got to be careful around those. Still have the gun to fall back to as well, but you want to deny them the slope, and they can't quite do all of it. Everyone mostly lives, but they just will lose slope. And that's the big problem.
Yeah, good attempt there from Feila, just making a YOLO push off the respawns, and as you say, they got what they would have wanted. Raylan's going to come very close to capping, it just nudges a little bit further forward, and one more decloak, that is going to be over for third. Even goes down, Kazuki fragging out, now going in for a high bomb, but he is going to be levitated in the air and doesn't quite find a rocket onto Layla.
Alright, so far so good. Still have 3 minutes for last. Sounds very doable. Won't be advantage to last, however, so unlike the attempt from Twice we've seen previously in this round, things will be a little bit harder to make work into this Vigil last point. Sniper's already peeking away, but while they're taking the 1v1, there's bombs coming in high, and Harry, threatened early by this, eats up a lot of pipe there once Evo comes out as well, so probably well justified in popping there, but it still doesn't catch much of anything of relevant, right? Sure, you got disordered DuMmTm, but those were willing to die for that. The medic lives, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit scattered there from Feila. Not sure exactly what target they were going for. Everyone was a bit split from Twice, so there wasn't just easy kind of just shoot that demo medic combo. Namba's going to find a nice frag onto Kazuki, and actually Sammy gets sniped as well, so no spam, no explosives in this next fight, in this next defense, and when this Uber is ready to go as well, that's not an ideal scenario for Twice.
Yeah, see, we're coming through that they worked so hard to get just now. Bombs away, Joan and Deep hit some good damage, cleans up a good bit of damage there with the heavy and the sniper going down. A lot of freedom for the rest of the team now to make their way onto the point, get this thing up the slope already. Now everyone has to block, but who's left to fight this? It's just 3 people in on point, 1 already down. Scout and DuMmTm just gets blasted off by Old School to wrap this up. That gets round 1 on Vigil.
Yeah, perfect timing by Raylan, knowing that he wasn't going to get in position for the push itself, but just knowing he could hang out, everyone was going to be have their eyes firmly fixed onto blocking that cart. The cart was being muscled up there, and Raylan just spots in, gets that one frag onto the medic, the important one, takes the heals out of the equation. Everyone turns around for him, and that's more than enough of an impact.
They want to get in Premiership. This is still their golden ticket right now without having to worry about even going through upward.
Yeah, neither team messing around too much, talking too much about strats. I mean, I think that previous round mostly came down to the mistakes that Twice made on their offense. They'll certainly be looking later on to make a faster pace than they were there. Don't want to be struggling around on second. I mean, Feila's pushes themselves, they weren't super clean, but they were just finding a play here and there, and the thing that's always been so impressive about Feila on this map is just how quickly they rebound. They can wipe, and then within 20 seconds they're back, they're pushing again, and they've made a push work.
Let's see what this next round could do for us. Feila now with the upper hand on the map, at least, if not the match yet, but can draw it even here if they clutch one more win on PL Vigil. Feila sitting in spawn while the rest of the team just making their moves outside, seeing what's up, getting the card moved forward. No need to risk the medic just yet. Well, there's snipers and spies lurking everywhere. Found one of those already. Spy eliminated. Still has a chance Soldier might bomb through, but at least now it's a lot safer for the medic to exit spawns to begin with. Get some heals going forward. Harry eating a lot of stickies that are sitting around the fence as well. In the meantime, can't really afford that for much longer. Has to fall back, makes the rest of the team a little bit just not happy about the position up forward as well. Eat a lot of spam themselves. Sammy goes down, and that's the point right there. 46 seconds, that's what you like to see here. Want to wrap this up in just under a minute, preferably here. Early bomb by Orange as well. Actually takes one for the team as Harry hits the surf. Beautiful stuff. Just barely making that one work.
Yeah, had to go all the way back into spawn. They haven't made the most of it, Feila, but now they're actually coming in, and Harry can't even get in to save his heavy in time. They've lost 3, Engineer, Heavy, and Sniper. Big casualties. Namba does go down, but the rest of his team is looking to go. It's going to be down to these 6's combat classes. Kazuki launching himself in with the help of the battalions. He gets enough of the cleanup in the tunnel. We're seeing Layla run out for her life, but she's gunned down at long range by Axio.
The start so good. Like, she set 3 down initially in this fight. Sounds insanely promising, but they just didn't have good position. They were still stuck in tunnel, and at that point, you're just gonna be shot down from every direction trying to get in here. And even with 3 down, it feels like numbers down on Feila's side at that point with the bad position they put themselves in post-Uber. Just despite the good start, couldn't go any further, and once again...
What a trap from Sammy. Around like the point, Layla was not ready for that. I didn't even see if it was a blind there or it was called, or if he was spotting himself.
Pure talent.
Either way, it's super, super effective.
Oh no, they figured out the defense second, and the answer is just push more. The defense can't be bad if we just play offense 2 instead.
He's got the stickies back up in the point, and old school goes down to them again. Please,
but no one dies to that one 3 times in a row. Well, this is going to be a big mental reset for Feila to just now. This has been shenanigans for the last minute and a half or something, it feels like now. Probably not quite that long, but it's just... You got to get out of a big slump right now as well. Harry eats a lot of damage, pipes flying in, we'll use to that eventually, but no one's really ready to take a fight at all. Layla can just relax, fall back a little bit. Kuzuki with an attempt there, but the gun just alone stops that from doing anything at all.
Harry went very close to going down there, just perhaps he was a little bit too aggressively onto his scout Ozero, and they will both escape for now, but Layla does have this Uber advantage ready to go, and Feila are really taking their time looking to just really make this a clean push.
Alright, here's the push coming in already. This time around, a little bit different here from the other tunnel entrance instead. Side entrance it is coming through, but already does decent damage. Pyro, Heavy, and Sniper going down there in the fight, but no one's really able to stand in once again. Whole just slew of the top side of the scoreboard just down already at the end of this one. Just getting in there very convincingly, maybe so, but trading it all out in the end, cleaned up big time. Also getting every kill that the team provided them with once and for all. And that just leaves them with once more no space to get for very different reasons for Super at the end of the Super fight.
Yeah, 10 kill streak for Ozero, 9 kill streak for Sammy. These two players are absolutely crushing on the server right now. Little bomb in from Orange. He's gonna find Exy Red, the engineer. So a few casualties here for Twice, but at the moment Feila can't really get anything going. They can't get these classes up in position to make the most of these frags.
Alright, Blue Medic up again. Harry with slight advantage here. Could certainly matter. If nothing else, wallets like this are just nice to know the fact that you miss an arrow and you still won't have this set. If nothing else, hard to imagine they play off margins this small too much, but I don't know. I mean, Twice has been really aggressive on the defense so far. Maybe they will make a push with this one. However, gotta keep the eyes open for the crits pick coming up as well. Later is mixing it up a little bit here as well. Gotta actually get some help with the spy. Maybe everyone just left her. Barely getting back in time, and Otsuku still dies to Axie anyway. Why is he not shooting the medic?
Unfortunate. And the flankers coming in. Smith and Kazuki wrap around from the tunnel, see the opportunity, collapse. Layla goes down, and now it's Feila who are really backed against the wall in the second point.
Somehow they can try as hard as they want. They're still not losing the round. It feels like on Twice anymore at this point. This may go beyond the 5-minute mark we've seen earlier, and that is a big problem for the side of Feila.
Yeah, they're still looking to go. They're going to catch Smith. Nice little snipe from Chocolate following up on Jowen's damage, but the aggressive Uber is out for Twice. They're only really seeing a level 2 sentry gun in front of them that they're going to frag down. They're going to catch actually Jowen and Namba both on the flank as well. Raylan going in for a sap, but don't think anyone's really going to be able to make that work. I'm trying to rush in. They're trying to find some space up top. KritzKast with one nice rocket onto Layla, but a nice little reflect coming out from old school will keep her alive.
Yeah, 2 minutes
Not
left.
for long. KritzKast's back in onto Layla, but this time not quite enough, and Joe is able to save his medic.
Now we're reaching the point where they just need to be a little bit more careful about not getting too carried away with the fact that they've been winning so far. So far still it's working out more than it isn't, I will say, but losing a couple players here, trading out at least in the end, everyone approaching the high ground here short of Joan on Beam will go down, and the fact that they're going in with Uber is surprising to say the least. I guess Harry didn't have it, they wanted to play off advantage, but there's just so little damage going around with the DuMmTm blind pushing back in here, can't catch much. Joan just plays point, hoping that with the few people that are down on red, maybe there's a chance to just get some cap time, but it's barely even keeping them alive, but not even that. They chase all the way on the medic in the end, while the rest of the team just makes sure that no one gets the point, and it's all falling apart. Frankly, I guess it's been falling apart now at this rate, it's just not getting any better.
Yeah, it's got very scrappy, very sloppy, very chaotic, and that's very much working in Twice's favour. I mean, they had everything they would have wanted their Feila. They still had a 30% Uber advantage. They had a decent amount of frags, but they just had to wait for their spawners to make a successful push with those players coming in. They popped. They didn't have anyone to cap the cart when the Uber was going in. They had to flash their sniper. Now it's the Uber coming out for Twice. They're cleaning most of the players up at top, but I think they've probably lost too many players. Orange is sneaking in behind as well. He's going to find a nice little frag onto Sammy. And now just 3 up, but they've got more than enough time off this second point here Twice.
This is just not good. There's no beating on the bush here. This is pretty bad for Feila at this point as well to even get a reasonable time. I was coping pretty bad, hoping that the 8-minute time earlier for Twice was going to be at least okay, and it just about was. They can't even get that much anymore. We're just comfortably at a scenario now where the timing to last will be pretty bad no matter what, if they even get there. And they don't have much time here either, right? They get to the 10-minute mark on the clock, and at that point the game will just end if they don't get this third point even.
Yeah, the timer is very, very much against them at this stage. It looks like they're going to get third. Well, they had position on third, but Smith is just going to hold W. He's just going to take the beam, look to go forward. Sap comes in, and Axio is just going to go down chocolate in front of the rest of his team, but it's not enough to block the cap, and third cap does come in. Sammy, surely this trap on the point won't work. Oh!
No! Why would he do that?
Absolute throw-in from old school. He obviously hates playing with number because he's just going to perfectly off those stickies into his face.
I don't know how the mental is in the voice channel right now, but it can't be getting any better after things like that.
Yeah, that... I don't know, maybe they're having fun, maybe they're just trolling each other.
I'm watching this gameplay, I don't think anyone of them is having fun right now. There's no way. They're having a miserable time right now in any way you spin it, and I don't know if this last one's making it any better. They have advantage at least, but it's a really small one too, actually.
Yeah, and this combination of Smith and KritzKast has been doing a lot of work on this this defense so far, and again they're looking to get aggressive together. KritzKast's at 99 battalions backup. He just needs one more rocket. He's going to find it, and there we go, 100% battalions backup for this next defense.
I mean, KritzKast is outscoring everyone on Feila, which is by itself already pretty impressive, if nothing else. Let's see if this battalion can add to the quality of gameplay here a little bit as well. For now, it's mostly just a deterrent, if nothing else. Scares people away a little bit, pushes in positions where they want them to be, and pretty much just got the heavy by the lonesome to a bit of damage by the rest of the team, and then the cleanups coming through just to make a bad situation even worse. Soldier spam, someone cleans up, and then the spy just has the medic alone in front of themselves for the easiest pick of their lives. Beautiful timing.
Yeah, that's a hugely tilting misplay by Feila. They could hear the banner. They knew they were at uber disadvantage. They still just commit all 9 players down the flank. Easy for KritzKast to just run in battalions back up, wrapping behind Axio, guns down Layla, and they just completely wiped. That was really never going to work. They had an Uber and a banner to work with, and yeah, very, very easy for Twice, just holding their mental game as Feila crumble.
Alright, Chad, I hope you have nothing else planned for the next 3.5 minutes, because we might stay here for a while. This could go all the way to the final stretch of time on this round if Feila can't figure this out, and they're trying to do different things, I suppose, as well. Once again, back to KritzKast. Last game it was the other team playing KritzKast. This time out it's Joan on the laser gun, and this time around it will work pretty well, I dare say.
Yeah, it's going to be enough. Certainly not going to be a good time. A couple of players actually go down, but you can see Old School just raining down pain in that spawn. 4 times cap comes in. Harry is going to try and block it, but not going to get there in time, and there we go. You never want to see double figures, but 11:01 is certainly not a good time on this map.
Not in the slightest. But somehow now they still have to make this one back here with the defense. Now, I guess their old second hold is a bit promising, but if nothing else, what we learned from last map was just the fact that Twice roster looks pretty good adapting over the course of the game, right? Had a rough start last map too, and just got better by the end to the point where it just looked like it was meant to be always a win and nothing else, even though the scoreline was really close by the end. And maybe we'll see some more of that right here, right? Just the quality of adaptation just looking a lot better on their side, figuring things out on the fly, and maybe they just have this on lockdown now.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Diamond5 in the chat, coming in with a bunch of gift subs. And thank you to everyone else who's followed during this cast. If you want to support the channel here with subs or Patreon, everything does go to the casters and the production. You can also check us out with the check our partners out over at gamersubs.gg and use code KritzKast if you see anything you want to order from there. Use code KritzKast for a 10% discount. That will also help support the channel. So thank you very much, guys.
Alright, here we go. Twice can bring this map back big time right now. If this is just a decent offense, really. They don't need that much. They have 11 minutes to figure this one out. That is a lot of time. They can take as much as they need here to just get each point individually one by one, and preferably we've seen so far on the defense here, they want to just keep the offense going, and we're seeing just that. We've seen, I mean, the medics didn't spawn all day, but this time around things will be different. Harry out of the spawn gates right away, gets the heals forward immediately. Don't see that too often.
Yeah, Nixon not to be outdone has come in with a bunch of gift subs as well, but we're going to go back into the action here. Kazuki looking to go in behind. He's got Axio for company. He's been spotted at the moment, but maybe he's able to distract just a little bit. He's going to run into a heavy and actually trade it out, so not too much. And actually Uber is going to be coming out from Sammy here on the flank. Feila will be happy with that. Sammy launching himself in is going to try and 1v1 of a sentry gun and loses quite hard.
Alright, well, advantage at least for Layla will help a little bit here defending the second point, but now is really where they can showcase what they learned across the last few minutes of gameplay here, and it's a quick force certainly coming out. Heavy on one side, Soldier all the way on top of them. I think the Pyro was involved as well. Everyone just in quick for the force. All will die maybe, but that's the price you're willing to pay for this Uber to be removed from the equation and get Harry back up in the lead on the Uber charge race now. Should be the next medic to get this thing up and running, and by the time they have, this should be the second point over done with, hopefully.
Yeah, just gonna try and approach from tunnel at the moment. Everyone's just stacked up, both teams. It's actually a slight advantage for Harry. See if they're just gonna wait. They're just gonna probably move through side tunnel, still up at 90%. Awkward a few moments, so they just wait for this extra last 10% Uber to go up. There's there's a trap on the corner. It does launch a scout completely out of the fight, but Kazuki's in quite deep. Is he going to be able to find anything down onto Layla? Still only at 85%. They're looking to refight here. Feila, they have an Uber just about ready to go. Harry is quite aggressive, going to just back out of the point, and actually at the end of the day, Twice don't really get anything with that Uber that they would have wanted. Yeah,
as we said, just no chance to go anywhere when you're stuck in the skybox for half of the Uber charge. Tracy White, one soldier alone is not going to really cut it there in the end. Layla back at Uber advantage, and the second push looking a bit tough again. Now, standards are high for what qualifies as a bad second push now after what we've just seen, but I guess Feila just has to give it the best shot here. Usually Uber, I mean, it catches Harry, nothing else. A bit disappointing in some ways maybe, but as long as the medic dies, at least not having this head afterwards.
Did they get Harry before that Uber? Either it didn't really make too much sense for them to use, but I guess the fact they've got the medic is enough. Kazuki goes in for a bomb onto Layla, and she goes down to about 20 health before re-subbing now. But that's allowed a bit of space for Twice to try and make their approach. Now actually going to run in from side tunnel.
Him, but he checked for 1 second too little there in that direction of the rock. And actually just saw the flames approach and just turn away the second they would have hit him. Absolutely just got away with that somehow. And there you go. You see that opportunity happen to you as a spy, you gotta take it. Sometimes spy is just luck, and you gotta be having your maxed luck stats on the ready.
Yeah, that's huge, and the rest of the Feila team kind of just fell to the wayside while all that was happening. We're seeing actually Smith looking to utilize that space up top, or up on the point to get aggressive. Everyone's on the flank at the moment for Twice, but they have that Uber ready to go. Layla's still nowhere near her own. They're going to gun down old school. Raylan, this spy's been taken out as well. They don't get too much space here, but it's going to be all onto Joe N alone. He's looking to go forward. So now he's got his heavy with him. Now he's got his sniper looking to go forward. There's a mini sentry that's being wrangled that is going to be enough to help take out Chocolate with Smith. And now just the ball of players is just going to stand on the point and cap it out. And Feila are going to be back to last.
Alright, looking good here. 640 for this one. Now I have seen teams lose these, but this should not happen at this level of play, quite frankly. So Twice with a great opportunity here to wrap up this round nice and quick for once on this map. Certainly you still have to get the up first, but once that's the case, we are ready to go as well, especially with the engineer down as they get 100. Just makes there be a much better chance to maybe not even exchange necessarily, but just also sack if they want to just get something going before there's a gun up again as well. But looks like maybe they do just want to take the charge in. So does Feila. They're meeting them head on here. And look at that. They don't want to mess with any of this up front there.
Yeah, a bit of a stalemate Ubertroid there. Neither team committing, just facing each other down, looking eye to eye in that red room doorway, and both Ubers come out. It's gonna mean it's dry opportunity to maybe make something happen for the offense. Harry's rotating his heels out onto the flank, but Sammy gets knocked down to the low ground. It's actually taken out. Long range scattergun shot from Lit Fam. There's decent caps on while all that was happening. Kazuki's found some decent space in from Red Room, and Feila are just backing up and backing up and backing up, and surely they're going to have to block soon.
They got bailed out big time by Raylan getting those kills, and just now everyone was waiting to come in to have out the soldier there, but Spy just cut them all short on the flank before much can happen from the big door entrance. We'll keep the card where it is just now. We'll keep Feila up alive in the defense, but still a whole 5 minutes to go to make this matter. It's a long, long time for any mistakes to happen here.
Yeah, Joe's played with Axio too much, knows that spot he was hiding in, and finds him in the corner, but Exi Red just runs in, guns down Joe N, and a drop from Layla.
Yeah, Kazuki, while all of you were talking about 12 million things, rightfully so, there was so much happening. One soldier in the skybook certainly can slip past people's eyes a little bit and just lands right on the medic as all of that was going down.
Yeah, just really good coordinated aggression from Twice. Just everyone committing from different angles at the same time, and way too many for either a caster or a medic to deal with.
There you go. Push comes in. This has to just be the end of it. Rolling down nice and early on this one too. Catch the engineers. Well, no gun to worry about. Big flank attempt for Feila coming through here. 4 people behind, but they have the eyes ready on that. Pyro and Scout just get in quick. Don't bother about the card so much as they just want those guys in the flank down first, and by the time they can play card, there's no resistance anymore. Well done by Twice. As we've seen earlier, once they have an advantage into last, they know what to do with it. This being no exception.
I think it's just going to come down to which team can apply themselves the best on this round. Not too much to say in terms of predictions overall. It's just going to come down to nailing it at the time, because I think it's really anyone's game.
I'm going to go with the instinct I had earlier, which was to say that Twice across both maps now just looked better the longer it went, and if that continues being the case here as it's been so far, then surely they can wrap this one up. Certainly choosing once again to have the offense going, like you said, they had the choice here and just stuck with what they had here just now. No need to switch it up, just instantly back into the offense with not too much of a delay between rounds, and just keep the fire going.
I think the mental thing is also something we can look at as well, because there was certainly tilt during that offense for Feila. They had a full 7 minutes on defense where they looked a little bit more competent. Maybe they slowed themselves down a bit, but not taking a long time between rounds. It's I guess probably bodes okay. Probably means they're not super tilted. But certainly keeping their mental back in this game is going to be very, very important for this next defense.
We'll see who can wrap this one up. Match point for Twice. They can get themselves into winners finals where Moro He's confidently waiting for them already here as well. We see a couple of people sneak around the flanks, see if they can make the funny action. Oh, and in the meantime, that just works.
KritzKast with a huge bomb that left the tunnel open there on Feila, and they absolutely paid for it. KritzKast just went in behind, and a really, really nice bomb lands perfectly on Layla. Drop coming in, no dispenser armor for her.
Why even have that gun in the first place if it doesn't do anything?
The bomb was just too good. It's easy to evade that sentry gun.
That is most unfortunate. Well, people just don't want to sit in dispenser sometimes. I think Harry on the other side didn't earlier as well.
Oh my god. KritzKast just started, and that was a beautiful skip jump through tunnel and finds the sniper as well, and once more opens stuff up. He is popping off.
Most certainly, and no slowing down on that department either now with the advantage coming in. They surely can't waste another 5 minutes on this point.
Yeah, Uber just coming in from top. Harry 8 a ton of damage, had to pop a little bit early, but they've got a lot of space here twice, although not as many frags as they perhaps would have wanted. Joe's going to do his best, but just eats pipe after Siki after pipe, and now it's going to be Smithshot chasing forward, gets air blasted, but certainly not fragged, and is even going to be able to gun down Smith with the help of his sniper mate Scrimus, and Raylan walks into about 1 million projectiles, and yeah, Feila back to third.
Actually almost was a hero right there. He was sitting on card after the first initial bit of the push ended there and just saw an opportunity to feed on Layla, and she barely survived on 1 HP before anyone realized the engineer on card actually has a shot on killing the medic. Barely got away with that, still wraps up the point quite confidently here. No chance to come back in with that little help on the medic here. Want to save Uber for third instead. That might be a decent decision here if they can wrap up some kills, but look at that, they're just chasing deep for basically no rewards at all. All of Twice just waiting in the back for them to feed in for nothing. Get themselves 3 kills and maybe just a chance to wrap up this round nice and early.
I mean, they used the Uber here twice, but there was no combo alive for them to use it on, and I mean, still the cart is still far back. Surely, I mean, Feila could have made an effort to block there, but I think they're gonna think better of it. Axio is back on the last one. KritzKasta's there as well, going in for something, and actually does get the frag onto Joe.
Well, like you said, they didn't kill the medic, which they really probably would have liked to, so they would just try to on last anyway, really double down on that one. Maybe a bit too happy to get in with this one, like you said, as well. Just push in early into nothing. It doesn't make the Uber look quite as impactful as it might have been able to still, though. The fact that there was no resistance on third really is the key talking point I think we should focus on here. That just is a 240 right there in the game where every second point has otherwise been like endlessly long so far.
Yeah, this is speed run stuff at the moment, and opportunity at least for Feila to get some kind of defense going. They've been able to stabilize. They've got what looks like a pretty standard hold, just playing aggressively in this main area. The moment Twice are taking their time, they're just happy to move the cart a little bit before they push themselves, and they've built up their own Uber.
Okay, big exchanges here, trying to just cover distance early. Uber forced out in the mix of all that. That's exactly what they were looking for. Getting people in from main and to flank at the same time. Just splits attention a bit too much for Feila to both watch card and the open flank there in the end. A couple of people down late as well. No sniper now. Once he pushes, able to come in, just helps so much. Getting in just that bit safer on the side of Twice. Once again, choosing the PC entrance on the right side perspective for themselves. Getting in quick. Only level 1, 2. They even got that thing down before they went in. Barely a threat on that one. Could put some stickies there. Take that down late. Get themselves space here. Not a lot of damage on this one. Most of it just disappears into the flank. And they had no one covering that, however.
Yeah, classic rotation in from Cafe, but there's still enough players on this car, and you can see Old School just run in, try and block it out. Has slowed the cart down for now, but certainly frags in Twice's favour, and KritzKast just launches in, and everyone is there waiting to eat his rockets, and there we go. It's a wipe from Feila, and a super rapid time from Twice, 4:36.
That last push, that last little bit of a push, I don't think went even close to as intended. Spy probably called to get in for the rest of the team to come in there. They just took a little while. He beefed the stab and then they clean up. Probably was supposed to happen a little bit sooner off each other there, but even then, just had the perfect opportunity. Had so much time for error that they could beef this just a tiny bit and still make it look that easy in the end for this brilliant time on Twice. And as I said, they've just gotten the better the longer this game has been going.
Absolutely. This is a time that is going to need somewhat of a miracle to beat. I mean, there wasn't even really a failed push. There was just that one kind of sack wave from the stalemate, and that was about all that went. I mean, it's pretty much as perfect as you could have wanted from Twice. Just great execution all round on nearly every point, and yeah, as we say, Feila's going to need something absolutely special to take this. Do you think they will go on to crits? I'm seeing 15 seconds. It looks like it's staying on Uber actually.
Very much so. That's all it comes down to now. Suddenly, well, I wish it was able to over-dramatize it. This is their Premiership chances on the line here, but not quite. But certainly will make things a lot more difficult here if you have to claw yourself from losers through this double element. In the end, all the other guys just get to sit in winners, living the good life. We'll see what comes out of this one here. The Spencer's there, Gun is here. Surely nothing will happen to this red medic. Let's see, yeah, okay, Feila and... Ooh, actually, no, never mind. Okay, they're not keeping Leyland and Spawn nearly as long as last time. A little bit early out of Spawn this time around as well. Want to just move things along a little bit quicker into the transition into second. They know very much they have little time to play with, so playing like a reserve first one's not really in the cards right now. But even then, trying to hurry things along just lets them... leaves them with no time to check anything at all. Heavy just farms them completely up front. The rest of the team had to clean up as well. At least Layla wasn't beyond the little cliff here just yet. So far enough back to get away from that, but everyone else just very carelessly approached that and will get greatly punished for it.
Yeah, I like that defense from Twice. Not something you often see. Kazuki's now trying to make something happen, launches himself in towards Feila, gets some damage. One rocket down, not going to be enough. There's going to be a health back for her as well. But just see a team like really committing, just spamming at long range and seeing they had that health advantage. Smith is going to find one frag onto Namba, not quite going to get a second. The cap is very close to coming in, but actually Ozo is just going to run in and run out of the drive-by. But throughout all that, Harry somehow dropped.
Yeah, no one wants to sit in dispensers anymore. It's not what they want to be, and it will get them punished on both sides of this match in this last round just now. And that gives a bit of hope. There wasn't a fast first point at all, but a minute for the rest of this each point. They're still doable, if not necessarily easy at all, I guess. Push comes in, forces people back. I mean, if they can keep the space they have, this might be promising, but surely there will be resistance here. They're not just going to let them have it. There's the fight coming through a little bit. Everyone's still far back with the cart, taking the long way back in here from the tracks, all the way rotating into the enemy team there to try to give them all the high ground really with that as well. But it's just about enough damage to make this work, out-damage them just enough. Approaching that little point area here to force them back. Bombed by Kazuki once again, just completely unnoticed. Having one hell of a game here, and the last few minutes of this one should be no exception to that.
I mean, there's only been 2 minutes this round. Kazuki's already got 2 banners up and provided crucial defenses throughout all that. Axio finds a stab onto Chocolate. He's not going to find anything more, but that's going to slow down the Feila offense a bit.
That. Wow. There was a sap happening as the bomb came in. The dispenser basically went down instantly, but Harry didn't take any damage yet. Was playing that one really fast induced on the right mouse button to not waste his Uber, but ended up maybe just wasting it a bit more in the end. Still, there's only 2 minutes on the clock, and it's been going really well here. And look at that, health was so bad on the side of Feila as well.
Yeah, I think Harry definitely doesn't want to drop a second time because this game is close to unthrowable now. Raylan is coming in, going for something, but not quite going to find it. There is going to be a collapse.
He still gets it? Dude, Kazuki missed like 2 easy rockets there and still just hits the 4th one perfectly anyway to not have Layla escape that. Wow. Just, you cannot fail today.
Yeah, and this bunch of healthy players on point is proving Feila's undoing that. Unable to dislodge this defense was just everyone kind of blob stacked up on the low ground on point. It is vulnerable to demo spam, it is vulnerable to the sniper sightline as well, but the moment is holding strong.
Last bit of a hold here on second being set up as well, but it looks like once again offense is the best defense. We've seen it in the previous round. They just want to go in on this little transition area here into first once again. Blow up the engineer with all of the buildings involved, all the way to the medic. And I think this match is now a foregone conclusion. Twice will do it.
Yep, GG's are out. Players are leaving the server. That is, I mean, we saw how fast this could be done previously in the past with a Feila versus Twice matchup. It is about 1 minute and 30 for these last few points, and that is more than past at this stage. So Twice will, as you say, they went from strength to strength in the first map, they went from strength to strength in the second map, and they'll get themselves in the upper bracket. And yeah, really, honestly, just really entertaining stuff all round. And I'm honestly hoping at some point in this bracket we get a rematch of these two teams, because it's really fun stuff. There was a standout performer on that second map of Vigil for me, and it was Kazuki by quite a long margin.
Yeah, very clearly so, I think, as well. Hard to take that away from him. Numbers certainly speak to that as well. Devilman's damage still a bit higher as you would hope it to be, even if you're doing well yourself, I suppose, on any about class. But after that, immediately just Soldier there. Scott with good cleanup too, half the damage. Would you like to see here? Brilliant stuff from the side of Twice, and yeah.
Yeah, Ozuru's numbers were impressive. Actually, top fragged and near enough bottom death on his team is certainly very, very nice. KD himself, and yes, Sammy really stepping up and making a difference. We've certainly seen him outgunned by Joe previously on this map, but really showing his mastery of the DuMmTm class.
Yeah, I mean, for all of those part, it's not like he's been like an unknown quantity or anything as well. It's just the fact that Ozuru needed to be in a team that doesn't die by week 2, I guess, for there to be like continued good performances. And look at that, maybe this has some promise for the future. It's tough out here.
Yeah, no margin for error now for Feila. They've got potentially 2 games left in these qualifiers, and they've got to win them both to put themselves in Premiership with all of the big boys, all of the elite. And yeah, as you say, if you want to find out when those games are going to be, and make sure you're following the channel, make sure you're joining the Discord, and look out for the events then. And we'll catch you there on KritzKast. Big shout out to DuMmTm for casting alongside me. Big shout out for Dr. _ for the production tonight. Good night.